Nobody is coming to applaud the alarm you just silenced. You can lie there for 3 more minutes and negotiate with yourself, or you can get up. Nobody outside this room will ever know which one you picked. That's the whole test. You are living at 40%, and you have been calling it your max. That's not an insult. It's the plain math of comfort. Every time you round down, snooze the alarm, skip the harder set, take the easy version of the task, you teach your own mind where the ceiling is. And the mind believes you. It stops pushing past the point you've trained it to accept as enough. 40% starts to feel like 100 because nobody's grading the difference except you, and you stopped grading a long time ago. Here's the part that actually costs you. Nobody is watching this morning. Nobody is going to post about the rep you didn't skip, the extra mile you ran in the dark, the version of the work you did when it would have been easier to do the version that looked fine from the outside. There is no audience for the real work. That's exactly why most people don't do it. They save the effort for the moments somebody might see. But discipline that only shows up for an audience isn't discipline. It's a performance, and performances stop the second the lights go off. So ask the honest question before you get out of bed. Are you building a life on the 40% you're comfortable admitting to, or the 100% that nobody but you will ever confirm happened? The push past the comfortable line right now, this morning, is the cheapest price you will ever pay for it. Wait a year and the same push costs you a decade of low ceiling. Think about what 40% actually looks like from the outside. It looks fine. It looks like a person who shows up, who does the job, who nobody would ever accuse of being lazy. That's what makes it dangerous. Comfort at 40% doesn't announce itself as failure. It wears the exact same clothes as effort. Only you know the difference because only you felt the moment you could have pushed and chose not to. The world will never audit that moment. It doesn't have the data. You do. David Goggins spent years training himself to recognize the exact moment his mind told him he was finished. And then he kept going because he learned that when you think that you are done, you're only 40% into what your body's capable of doing. That's not a slogan. It's a discovered fact about where the real limit sits, buried under the layer of quit that shows up first. Cameron Hanes built his entire career on 4 words that strip away every excuse about motivation, mood, and audience. Nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody is going to hand you permission to rest before the job is finished, and nobody owes you recognition for finishing it. The work has to be its own reason, because it's the only reason that survives an empty room. Seneca understood this 2,000 years before either of them. In his letters to Lucilius, he told his friend to set aside days to live on the scantiest, cheapest fare, coarse clothes, plain food, and then ask himself, is this the condition that he feared? He wasn't describing punishment. He was describing training. Toughen the soul in a time of ease, so it already knows what hardship feels like before hardship actually arrives uninvited. Put those 3 together and the standard is simple. The limit you feel first is not the real limit. Nobody is going to make you push past it, and nobody is going to notice if you don't. The only person auditing the gap between 40 and 100 is you, which means you're also the only one who can close it. Notice what none of these 3 are offering. Goggins never said the 40% barrier gets easier to see through. He said you keep finding it over and over and you push past it anyway every single time it shows up. Hanes never promised the work would eventually earn an audience. Seneca never promised the manufactured hardship would stop feeling uncomfortable once you'd practiced it enough. All 3 are describing the same discipline. The gap between what you feel capable of and what you actually are stays permanently wider than it looks, and closing it is a decision you make fresh every morning, not a switch you flip once. Today you will do one thing past the point where your mind said that's enough, and you will not tell anyone about it. Today you will treat the absence of an audience as the actual proof of the work, not an excuse to lower the bar. Today you will pick one comfort you've been quietly protecting and remove it, the extra 10 minutes, the easier version, the excuse in your back pocket. Today you will ask yourself at the hardest moment whether this is the condition you feared, and keep moving once you realize the answer is no. You are not living at your real capacity. Close the gap this morning, where nobody's watching and nothing but the truth is keeping score. Win before they wake.